been some of you who have been able to be in person or to be online with our other workshops are familiar with Jessica. But Jessica is a licensed mortgage loan officer. She serves the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. She's a founder of her own financial consulting business, and that includes budgeting, saving, investing, credit management, all the things that are important to all of us, and important debt reduction. So, Jessica is a mom. She's played competitive soccer nationally and abroad, and she's an author of 2 books. That's right. And Jessica, I'm going to turn it over to you. Like I said, we have some people online. Isabel is going to handle that for the library for us, and she will also manage the questions that any of you have online. She is also going to manage a raffle of one of those books that I mentioned from Jessica.
Thank you. All right, everyone. I always hate when I can't see everyone's faces. All right, so let's start with understanding, controlling, and overcoming debt, your path to financial freedom. All right, so what is debt? Debt equals the money that you borrow and must repay. The common types of debt that we all know about are credit cards, student loans, car loans, medical bills. If you get a personal loan, stuff like that, Affirm. I know we all love some good Affirm, Klarna, all that stuff where we can pay it back later on. Debt can be harmful and helpful. It just depends on how you manage it and what you're getting. So good debt versus bad debt. So good debt typically is your investments, right? Your home, investing in education, in businesses. Bad debts are things that have high interest rates, are unnecessary, are impulse buys, spending. And your goal really needs to be avoiding bad debt and managing good debt wisely. Another bad debt that a lot of people don't think about is actually your car. So I was in the car business for about 9 years. And I remember I used to have clients come in and they just had to have certain things. Like it didn't even make sense sometimes, but they have to have integrated navigation. Well, that's an extra expense, right? That's a whole nother package that you have to have. But you already had in the lower model that was in your budget, Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Like you can literally mirror your phone to the car. So is integrated navigation really a necessity or is it a want? Cars also depreciate in value, where things like homes typically appreciate. So when you go and you purchase a car that is at the max of your budget, it is also losing value while you are paying it off and having to pay interest on it. So that's what we would consider a bad debt. How debts affect your life. So they can impact your credit score and financial options. A lot of people don't realize that when your credit score is low, it might even be low because you're maxed out on debt. So you might be paying everything off on time like you're supposed to, but because you are so debt heavy, your credit score will be a little bit lower than what it should be or could be. And when you have a lower credit score, a lot of people don't realize health insurance, car insurance, things like that, they actually check your credit score before they give you your quotes. So if you have bad credit, your insurance is probably going to be going up. The difference between purchasing a car at 4% and purchasing a car at 22% is night and day. I remember I had a gentleman when I was in the car business, he probably made about 100, 140, 150,000, but his credit was so low, I could barely get him financed for a $12,000 car. That's going to be a problem if you aren't taking care of your debts, your credit, and everything like that. Um, a lot of people are like, oh, well, my credit's not where it needs to be. I'm just going to rent. It's harder to rent an apartment than it is to purchase a home because your landlord is going to look at your credit score a little bit harder a lot of times than a lender will, and they want good credit people moving into their investment properties. Some jobs look at your credit. So me as a lender, I can't have terrible credit for me to be able to do my job. And then that stuff like that can definitely stress you out, right? If you are constantly having to take money from here to pay there and all that stuff, it weighs on you. And stress develops heart issues, high blood pressure, diabetes, all types of health issues can come from that. So, understanding credit scores, what makes up your credit? So, the largest section of your credit, what they look at, is going to be your payment history. That makes up 35% of your overall credit score. Your next one is going to be new accounts at, well, going around in my circle, 15%. Your amount owed is it be at 30%. What I just talked about, that if you have too much debt, your credit's going to drop. 10% is going to be your types of credit. And then 10% is going to be the length of your history. So if you've ever, we'll go back to cars. If you've ever had a car and you've paid it off, I'm sure you've noticed your credit score has dropped. If you have a credit card that you completely paid off and then closed, your credit score has dropped. It'll bounce back, but it drops because now your length of history is now shortened. So that's why they tell you never, ever close out a credit card, keep it, make 1 or 2 payments a year on it. Because if they are averaging out your length of credit history and you close out your card that you've now had for 5 years, 10 years, that's a long time you've been paying on this one particular thing. So when you close it out, it's almost like you're resetting part of your credit score again or your length of history again. So, um, yeah, don't close out stuff. Don't close out your credit card, y'all. Just be responsible on how you're spending them. All right. So why people fall into debt? I think one of the biggest things that I've experienced is lack of financial education. Um, people don't know the tricks of the trade when it comes to their credit. They don't know how to balance their debts, emergencies, or unexpected expenses. If you are balancing your debts a little bit better or a little more conservatively, you should have an emergency fund. I think we spoke about this in another class I did, where you want to try to build at least 3 months in your emergencies for unexpected expenses. You could always get fired, you can get sick, your car can break down. So you always want to have some extra money on hand to be able to pay those things off. Overspending or impulse buying. Like always, I say we all love us some Amazon. I know I see the trucks driving up and down, so I know I'm not the only one overspending with them. Or impulse buying. Like, how many times do we go to the store for just one thing and then we end up leaving with a bunch of other things? Right. I go in there for like a toothpaste or something, and now I'm out there with like a whole cart of stuff. High interest credit cards. A lot of people don't pay attention to the actual interest rate on credit cards. They are astronomical. You are typically looking around 20%, give or take. And then trying to maintain a lifestyle you can't afford. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses don't pay your bills and they never will. So stay within your budget, your income, and stop trying to go too much out of that. I'm not saying don't do nice things for yourself here and there, but You don't always have to buy the name brand things. You don't always have to buy something as soon as it comes out. Um, Look, if your phone's still working, you don't have to trade up every time. All right, so I have to take notes on this one. So give me 1 second. I wanted to show you guys the math that I did for this. All right, so these are two examples. So let's say you have a debt for $6,700 in credit cards with a 20% interest rate, and you pay the 2% minimum monthly payment of $134 a month, and you make no additional purchases on the card. It will take you about 9 years to pay off the cost, and you will pay $7,900 in interest payments alone to pay that $6,700 off. Paying just $66 more a month will have you paying it off 5 years earlier, and it will save you $4,600. And this is why it is important to understand the math when you're buying things. I know I would rather not pay either, but I would, I think 10,000 looks a little bit better than 14 when everything's all said and done. All right, so step one, assessing your debt. Um, as we talked about earlier, I do have two books that allow you to write out all of your debts and take a look at where you are currently. So the first thing you need to do is list balances, interest rates, and minimum payments for everything that you owe. Identify which debt costs you the most. Um, and sometimes costing you the most is not necessarily the larger monthly payment. Sometimes it will be the one that's going to cost you the most in the long run because of interest. So you need to weigh it all out. So awareness is the first step to financial freedom. I have a lot of people that don't want their credit ran because they're nervous to see, what damage they've done to it. I have people that are scared to list out their debts because they don't want to see how much they're in debt for. But you can't fix something if you don't see it. So you need to know what you need to correct, and that starts with awareness. So, a couple of strategies that I love. I personally like using the snowball method. There's a ton of other strategies. I have a bunch of them in my book that you can choose from. So, the snowball method, you are going to start with the smallest balance first. So, let's say you have three credit cards. One has a $2,000 balance, one has a five, and the other one has like a $7,500. And the $2,000 balance, you are paying $65 a month towards it. You're just going to wipe out that. If whatever extra money you have every month, you're just going to put it towards that $2,000 balance. And once you pay that off, you're going to take that $65 a month, and now you're going to put it towards the $5,000 balance. And once you wipe that balance out, you're going to then take that $65 plus whatever the monthly payment for the $5,000 account was, and you're going to add it to the $7,500. And that's why it's snowballing, because it's getting bigger. Your payments towards your debt are getting bigger and bigger as you pay things off, so that you can pay things off quicker. The avalanche method is actually the reverse. So you are going to start with the highest, or kind of the reverse, the highest interest rate, or highest balance, so that you are just making everything eventually smaller as you go down the ladder. And if neither one of these work for you, like I said, you can definitely look in my book, or you can Google different debt control strategies, payoff methods, and stuff like that. So reduce spending and increase income. The hardest part of this would be increasing income for most people, unless you are in sales like I am. Um, if I need to increase my income, I just have to hustle a little bit more. Those that have salary jobs or hourly jobs, um, that might be a little bit difficult, especially if you're not able to work extra hours or anything like that. But cutting unnecessary expenses, subscriptions, eating out less, impulse buys, will help with reducing spending. When you list out all of your debts, you need to make sure you're listing out everything. That's subscriptions, that is health insurance, that's car insurance, just anything that you pay towards monthly. Grocery bills, what do you pay every month for that? What are you paying for gas every month? Itemize everything out so you can keep track of it and see where you can cut. Increasing income. Maybe you can pull a few side gigs, freelance work, selling stuff. I know you sell things. um, maybe you are an hourly employee and you can put in an extra 2 hours of work a week. That adds up. If you're making $15 an hour, an extra $30 a week it comes up to what? An extra $120 a month? That's a bill right there. Use tax refunds, bonuses, or any extra money towards debt. I know some people don't want to throw extra money towards debt, but if you have debt that you have that accrues interest, allowing that balance to continue with that interest is going to hurt you. So let's say you have a roughly $7,000 balance on a credit card, and your monthly payment comes up to about 160, 170. If your interest rate on that card is 20% or more, you're probably paying about $100 a month in interest. So if you pay that 160, they're then going to charge you $100 in interest. And so it's the equivalent of you only paying $60 a month towards your debt. And that's why it takes you so long to pay off credit cards. All right, so let's build some healthy financial habits. Make realistic budgets. I sit down with my clients often and we figure out different ways that work for them. Budgeting is really just discipline. That's all it is. So you figure out which discipline practices that you can actually keep up with and rock with that. So if budgeting with envelopes is an easy thing for you, where you can just get especially those that make their money with cash, right? Um, Servers, bartenders, stuff like that. You can make envelopes and put on the outside of the envelope what each envelope is for. All right, this is going to be for groceries. This envelope is my car note. This envelope is gas for the week, the month. And you keep it that way. Um, I do a lot of like Excel spreadsheets for people where I will list out all of their debt, their payments, and what their new payment is going to look like once we address everything and what we can cancel out, what we can keep, what we can pay off quicker. You need to build an emergency fund. So that's kind of part of if you've heard people say pay yourself first, when you get paid, you need to make your emergency fund and your savings account an additional bill every month. So as soon as you get paid, how you would normally pay off the rest of your debt for the month or the week, you're going to do the same thing and fund your emergency account and your savings account. So whether it's just $25 a pay period, that's fine, but you need to be putting something towards those two accounts. Use your credit wisely. Make sure you're paying your bills on time. As we saw, bill payment history took up, I think, about 35% of what your credit score is. Using credit wisely is not getting your credit pulled every 2 seconds because you want something. Um, Not necessarily going out and financing everything just because you want it and the bank will approve you. I know I used to kind of say it as a joke, but I was serious. When I was in the car business, I would tell people, I will put you in whatever car you want. But if you ask me my professional opinion, you might not like it. This might not be the car for you. Based off the information you told me, I don't think this is an affordable car for you. It's not a smart business move. But if this is what you want, I will do what I can to get you in it. I remember I had a client when I worked at a luxury dealership. Um, they came in, we had to roll over a bunch of negative equity from their old car, and they left my office with like a $1,400 a month payment. They made $70,000 a year. I don't think that was necessarily the best financial move, but the bank approved it. And I keep telling people, just because the bank approves you does not mean it is financially smart for you. When I'm doing mortgages, I would tell people, like, I'm going to tell you what you are approved for, but that does not mean you have to max out your approval. People don't think about things like your homeowner's insurance is going to go up after a while. Your property taxes go up. So if you are maxed out at a $2,700 a month payment, and then the following year your property taxes now go up, so now you're paying $2,800, and then the year after that your homeowner's insurance now goes up. Like, those are two things that are always going to go up. How much they go up varies, but they're going to go up. So if you max out what you are actually able to afford when you first buy the home, just understand that that mortgage is going to continue to grow. And then you need to make sure you're reviewing your progress monthly to make sure these things are working out. Do you need to put a little bit more money to the side for groceries? Are you able to take away a little bit more money from something else and apply it elsewhere? So just make sure you're looking over your stuff regularly. And like I said, budgeting is just discipline. The more disciplined you can be with your funds, the better off you are going to be. So achieving financial freedom. So I put this in here and then I thought about it. Achieving financial freedom is a very hard feat. Um, Financial freedom means you're able to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do that. And realistically, that's not going to happen for the majority of us. But you can have financial peace. Financial peace is going to be, I know all of my bills are going to be paid. I know that I'm going to be able to take this vacation and miss work and not be stressed. I know if I fall sick or my spouse falls sick, my kids fall sick, and I have to take off for a week, a few days, we're still financially going to be good. That's financial peace. And that's really what I want for everybody is financial peace. You're not going to be stressed over your bills. If a hiccup comes, you're going to be perfectly okay. Again, financial freedom is a beautiful thing if we could achieve it, but it's not realistic for a lot of us. But take control of your stuff today. Start working towards having that peace, not being stressed out, being able to plan your future. I have a client, we went over all of their debts, and I was like, well, what do you want to do for Christmas for your kid? Do y'all want to go on a vacation? What do you want to do? And they said they had never thought of it before because they were always doing paycheck to paycheck. Now that they're able to see what they make, see what their debt is, they can plan accordingly for the future. And it definitely relieves some stress for them because they knew where everything was going. Things a little slow. All right, so my two books, it's Money Mastery Workbook, Plan, Save, and Grow. And then the other one is So You Want to Buy a Home, Financial Planner. They're both financial planner workbooks. There are no dates in them because I know lifes. And so sometimes you might fall behind and need to get back to where you were. So you can always start back. If you start in December and you're good up until April and then life happens and you can't start back up until July, that is fine. Just start where you're at. It gives you pages where you can list all of your debt. You can keep track of the balances. You can write out your savings for the month and then just kind of see how you are managing everything. How did that month feel for you as far as saving and spending? So they are both available on Amazon. I am doing a raffle in a few minutes. So whoever gets picked, you just let me know what book you want, and it will be left here at the front desk, and you can pick it up whenever you're free. So I think that was a quick one for tonight for me. So thank you very much. Here's my contact info. If you guys ever want to get a hold of me, if you have any questions, you want to set up a free consultation. Um, I think I'm very pleasant, so and easy to speak with. So please reach out to me, whatever way's best for you. And that is it. Is there any questions? Yes. Yes, you can. Yeah. I have another one at home. So I can give you that one now and then I can meet you. Okay, I can meet you. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? You can just put it in the chat and it'll get read off to me. Go ahead and pick my brain. Y'all got like 30 minutes of free knowledge, whether it's mortgages, credit, anything like that, you can ask me. Yeah, I can do that. Trayana. So let me go back. Which book would you want? The Money Mastery or the So You Want to Buy a Home?
Can you hear me?
I
Hello?
can.
Oh, sorry. I'm virtual. Is it still possible if I'm virtual to get that book?
Yeah, I'll leave it here at
Is
the
that
library
fair?
for you.
Okay. I'd like to say you want to buy a home. That sounds very informative.
Okay, I'll leave that here.
I
Well,
would
I'll
love
bring one up
recommend
tomorrow
one.
for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, are you sure you don't have any questions? Any first time home buyer questions, credit, savings, investing? Y'all are a quiet bunch this time. All right. Well, I will let everybody go for the night. Thank you very much. And again, if you guys need anything, you are more than welcome to contact me through my email, my phone number, Instagram, whatever's easiest for you. And I will see y'all later.